Yo, what's going on? First real race of the season with Team Ride Bikes. Super stoked on how we did. Race breakdown coming right now. But just to give you a little catch you up, if you will, on where the race has been. It was a 2 hour, 45 minute road race, 70 miles. For the first hour and a half, I was solo off the front, and then I eventually got caught. And then once I got caught, basically we were just kind of counterattacking for the next bit. And then our boy Miles then gets off the front with about 17, 18 miles left to go. And that's where we pick up in our video. So let's check that out and dive into the breakdown. All right, here we go with the little breakdown of just the last, I want to say 15 miles of this race. At this point, our boy Miles has been off the front for a good 10 minutes. He's got about a 45-second gap, maybe a minute gap on the field right now. So if the field wants to catch him, they're going to have to stay organized. They're going to have to really rotate, take turns pulling, things of that nature. Honestly, they don't do a good job at that. My team, or the Ride Bikes team, we have 4 guys overall in this race. There will be Miles, who we just saw, myself, Nick Baird, our sprinter, and then Tyler, our vegan, if you will, on the team. Not just kidding, but no, Tyler's here with us. So our huge role was to just follow Wheels at this point. So Miles is gone, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow Wheels. And what happens is right here, these two go and they're closing gaps down. So I'm going to use people to close down gaps. So I don't care if gaps open up unless they're super threatening. At this point, they're really not, but that gap opened up there, and I'm just gonna use that yellow and blue kit to close it down, which he does for me. Now I can move through the pack and look for the next guy to attack. This dude from Turmon goes off the front. Nick was on the front, kind of let it go, so that allows me to cover. So I jump across, no big deal. I'm on his wheel, catch him. Another guy counters. He looks at me and I'm like, dude, I'm not working. Like that's not my job. But then his teammate countered. So Turmon was like the next biggest team in this race. I believe they had 3 guys. So anytime one of them went off the front, definitely I'm going to be going with them because their team is also going to be blocking as one of their guys goes off the front. So that's what I do. This guy from Turmon goes, and I just follow him. His name is escaping me, but follow him as well. And honestly, when I do catch them, what we're going to do is we're not going to do any work. We're just going to sit on their wheel and let them turn at the front, and we'll see what happens. Now, this was a little bit weird. What we have in effect is a center line rule. So basically, like, you're not supposed to cross the center line, and if a ref is with you, motor ref, he'll tell you and he'll relegate you to the back or maybe DQ you. So right here, the Turmon dude crosses the center line. I call him out on it, flips me the bird, and I'm like, bro, really? Not cool. After the race, I talked to him. He totally understood. He apologized, and we sorted things out. But like, honestly, you gotta have good sportsmanship and just pay attention to the rules. Like, come on, I know it's really not that big of a deal, but there's no reason to get the little road rage there and send out that signal. But anyways, he goes. And we ended up just kind of letting him go, and at this point, I'm not looking to chase anything back majorly. There goes Nick. He's moving up through the field. He's marking wheels. He's following guys. That's what I'm doing as well, just following wheels. So we fast forward a little bit more. At this point, like, we all understand Miles is gone. I don't think we can see Miles anymore. He's that far up the road. So he's pretty much gone, okay? Now these 3 guys up here go. Nick is one of those 3 guys, so I'm gonna let that go. Like, that is not my job to chase that back. So one by one, they started going across. Now I realize, okay, that group's getting a little big. No one's real motivated to pull it back. They're all just kind of going one by one. So I'm gonna bridge right here onto the back end and just kind of sit in and hang on, not worry about too much. Nick is up there. Nick is gonna cover moves. He's gonna follow things. So I'm not real worried about it. They're trying to get a chase going, but at the same time, they're looking for each other. This guy then attacks, so I am then going to follow that move, and Nick is gonna either jump on my wheel or let it go and just sit in. But right now, I mean, we're racing for second at this point. That's really just kind of what's happening. I mean, everyone's starting to realize that. So I think that's also why they just kind of gave up as a group and started kind of going, 1v1, if you will, against each other, and just kind of counterattacking and trying to get these little breaks going. I mean, major kudos though, because it's ending up wearing down the field. It's slowing down their progress in chasing. We go full gas, then we go slow. Then we go full gas, then we go slow. And every time we go full gas and then slow, Miles is staying like a consistent 25 to 27 miles an hour. So he's just gonna keep motoring away, whereas we're going, anywhere from 21 miles an hour to 26 miles an hour. I mean, right now we're only doing 24. But again, my big role is I'm with these guys. I haven't even looked behind me at this point. I just jumped on the wheels and I'm just gonna follow them. I'm not gonna do any work. I'm not gonna pull through. Like, it sucks for them because they're gonna get really frustrated with it, but at the same time, like, they totally understand that I have a guy up the field. So why am I gonna contribute to pulling my own guy back and then possibly having one of these two guys out sprint us for the win at the end? So that's the game I'm playing. I'm playing the game of just following wheels, using your draft as much as possible until the next guy that attacks through, and then I'm gonna jump on his wheel and follow him as well. That's all we did for the last 35 minutes of this race once Miles got away. Honestly, beautiful team tactics. It helps that we had 4 guys in this race. We had so many cards to play, and the cards started to fall right in our laps in the way we wanted it to. Right here, this guy goes, "Bro, we had a gap. We could have turned." I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know," because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't watching behind me. I was just watching his wheel. So then these two guys come across, and we do still have a gap on the field by, like, I don't know, 10 seconds maybe. So these guys come across. They start to put in a little pull. Again, I just jump wheels. I jump over to their wheel. He pulls off to the left. This guy, SoCalCycling.com is the team he's on. He pulls through kind of hard. He looks at me. I look at him. I go, I'm not really going to pull, bud. And I look back, and I see we do have a gap. And then Travis right here from Turmon comes up. So I accelerate to get on his wheel. He puts in a good little dig here. But honestly, it's not going to be sustainable to the finish. But still, it's a good dig. That he's hopefully, in his eyes, he's like, maybe I'll motivate people to get things going. But unfortunately, he pulls off, and now I'm on the front, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything. Like, we're gonna go from 27 miles an hour down to 20, 21 miles an hour. We're gonna let things just slow up here. Miles can continue to get away. Turmon then does an awesome job at the counterattack, and then they got someone that follows him, and I look around, and Nick and Tyler are pretty far back in the pack. So of course I go with this move. So I bridge across to this. At this point, I get up to them and I look back. I saw we had pretty good daylight, so I come around them with a little bit of a hard acceleration. Some would say that's a counterattack on them. In a way, it kind of is. So then I just go and I look back and I instantly gap them, and they still have a gap on the field. So everyone's just kind of blowing apart behind me, and I'm taking advantage of that now. So I am now going, maybe it's time for me to go all in, and we're about, I don't know, 7K from the finish. So I start to give a little bit of a dig. As I'm going down this road, I look back, and there's one kid following me, the dude from SoCalCycling.com. Anyways, eventually he catches onto my wheel. We trade a couple pulls, and he's at this point he's going, dude, just get me to the finish. I am dying. And I'm like, listen, bud, we have to work together. So he comes in front of me. I go, hey, give me one last big dig, man. Just one last pull, and I'll pull the rest of the way. So he gives me one last pull. I get to sit in, rest. Behind me, we got at least 45 seconds to a minute on the field already. Miles is still gone and out of sight. Like, forget about it. That boy is not coming back. He's definitely winning this race. So kudos to Miles. But yeah, so he does his final pull. I come around him and we start to hit kind of the climbing section of this finish. It's kind of a rolling, hilly section, more up than down for sure. So I just go, okay, I know what I can hold for 5 minutes. I know this hill is about a minute and a half. So I'm gonna, go around that type of power. So that's what I start to do. And at this point, as I get to the top here, I look back and I realize that the SoCal kid, I dropped him. So now I am solo at this point. And then if I look back even further, I see the field is now about, a minute behind me. So I know I just have to keep the gas going on this climb. Just keep it fairly high power, more towards my 5 minute power, and just roll to the finish and see what happens. Now when I was catching this guy, I was like, that's not Miles. That's going way too slow. And no, it wasn't Miles. But there's a lot of guys in black kits where I was like, is that possibly Miles? Is that Miles? But none of those guys were Miles. He was gone. He put in a huge dig and super pumped that he got that win. But now we're racing for second, and here I am just kind of soloing for second. I'm not gonna, just because I have good daylight doesn't mean I'm gonna give up. You never know what the field's gonna do. Like, I'm pretty sure they were waxed, but honestly, someone in the field could get super motivated who's maybe sat in the whole time and then just come out and really give it a dig. But here we come now up to the finish line. I'm sitting pretty, second place for sure, no one behind me.
Woo! Yeah, buddy! Yeah! Dude! Oh my gosh, dude, congrats.
Anyways, I was super stoked for my boy Miles. Got to celebrate. Like, I knew I came in second, but I was so extremely pumped that he won that, like, I didn't even care that I got second. I came across the line and I was cheering for him, and he'd already finished. But Miles is new to our team. This is our first race as a team. Super excited with how it went. It was so sick to go 1-2 in this race. Tyler, I believe, came in 9th. Nick came in 12th. Our field was a decent sized field of around 25 guys, but we played it really well as a team, executed it. Man, we were all super stoked. Tyler came across the line, was excited. Nick died a little bit, but he was excited for us too. Overall, it was a great day of racing, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's a lot of cool tactics there that happened team-wise that I think if you have a team in a race, you know how to play it right, especially if you have a guy off the front. What do you do to help shut things down or just discourage people? So anyways, don't forget to subscribe. Love seeing the support with that. And also just keep training hard and keep riding, and I'll see you on the next video.
It was a good sign, despite of everything I saw. It's so